This is the Seahawkers podcast. We are live at the Shrine Bowl here in Dallas, Texas, and we are joined by one of the standout defensive linemen throughout the week, CJ West of Indiana. CJ, really appreciate you taking time, swinging by, and talking a little ball with us.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate the opportunity. It's great talking. Definitely.
So, what has been your approach to this week so far? And really, just even leading up to this, what does anything prepare you for kind of an all-star bowl like this?
I mean, honestly, my approach for this week was simply just like if it was a game week during the season, that was my mentality going into it. Like, regardless of the situation, regardless, who's watching, just work as hard as I possibly can, prepare myself as hard as I possibly can, just kind of show what I can do, show my skill set. So, that was my mindset coming into this. And, just working out, at X3 and, just using all the skills I learned throughout college, kind of help myself with this week.
And you were a transfer. You started out at Kent State, moved to Indiana. What was something that prompted that move for you?
I'm honestly just taking a bet on myself, taking a chance, and just really wanted to play against better competition. It's the Big Ten, so you play against the best of the best pretty much every week in, week out. So, that was something I really look forward to, and just kind of showing that, hey, I can do this at any level that I play at. So, that was my goal when, transferring.
You talk about competing against any level there, CJ, and coming here to Shrine Bowl, All-Star game. What's the level of competition been like as you've gotten here and got to compete against some of these other fellow All-Stars?
I mean, you got competition from everywhere, guys from every school around the country. So, you kind of see just the different guys and the different schemes they were playing and the different, techniques they may have learned, on different coasts. You got West Coast guys, Southern schools, SEC schools. That school's small everywhere. So, it's competition and different personalities of people, different ways they play, different coaching styles. And I just kind of, learned that and just kind of saw those different things and just attacked it the way I would everything, like just being myself, not doing anything out of the ordinary, just continuing to do that.
Well, it's working. It's working because, right first day when we got here, you stood out immediately with some of your one-on-one reps and that sort of thing. You mentioned different coaching styles. Coming here and now working with a few NFL coaches, has the emphasis on what they're coaching up a little different than what you experienced in college, or is it basically the same things and just kind of maybe refining some technique?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a lot of the same things that you may hear through college. And, a lot of the college coaches, they might have got some NFL experience here and there, learned from a couple NFL coaches, and it's kind of the same thing. But, it's just little details here and there that kind of helps you take it to the next level. And that's just what different, even with the coaches there. The small details that, kind of prepares a college lineman versus an NFL lineman. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But, I've definitely learned a lot from some of these NFL coaches. And, I mean, it's great, just kind of prepare myself for what may come forth in the future.
So I'm kind of curious just about players' journeys and how did you decide that you wanted to play football? At what age did you get into playing football? And what started it for you?
Actually, most of my life I was a basketball player.
Okay.
I'm a Chicago kid, so I grew up playing basketball all my life. And I hated football. I was I never wanted to play it. I don't like watching it when I was younger that much. I watch a Bears game here and there, but no, and I really didn't like football, but it's actually one year, it was on my birthday, and I was in about 8th grade, and I was actually going to the local rec center to go play some hoops, and I saw one of my best friend, him and his dad is in the indoor turf, and he's just throwing the ball. He played quarterback. He's throwing the ball around with his dad, and I go up to say hi to him, see how that's doing, just talking, chatting it up, and his dad's like, "Hey, you want to catch the ball with us?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? I'll try it." And I'm catching the ball around. He's like, "Okay, I guess I just had natural talent at it." And he's like, "You want to come play for my Pop Warner team?" I was like, never played football before, never thought I would, but, I'm going to try it. Why not? I played tons of sports. I did track and field, cross country. I had a stint in rugby, everything. I was like, I'll try some football. Why not? And to this day, it was the greatest decision I ever made, And it was just, outside of football, it was just the fact that I was able to do a lot of hard stuff with people that, also did hard stuff with me. And, just the feeling of success with all the, the tough times that you may have gone through, the conditioning and the hot practices and, hitting each other. And I kind of fell in love with that because I'm like, I got a band of brothers around me doing hard things. And honestly, it's the greatest sport in the world. Not everybody can do it. And I fell in love with it right then and there ever since 8th grade. So
Okay, so as a fellow fat kid in 7th grade,
we've known each other since kindergarten, so can't confirm.
So initially they put me on the D line, and I don't know if it was because I just didn't make enough plays, and then they transitioned me over the O line. But did they put you right on the D line, to start with, or how did you end up on the interior of the defensive line?
Actually, I played safety and linebacker.
Okay.
I played a little bit of running back here and there. You know, they gave me the ball a little bit. But like I said, I was a basketball player. So I was tiny. I was like $180, $170. Like I was really small in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I wasn't that much.
I thought I just heard you say you were a fat kid.
No,
Okay.
not my whole time. No, I didn't start playing D-line until my junior year of high school.
Okay.
Wow.
So even in high school, I played linebacker. Freshman, sophomore year, I was a linebacker. And kind of how that process went, it was like my sophomore year, I was like 200 pounds, maybe between 200 and 215, around that range. And our D-line coach for the varsity team, he was the only coach, like, college experience. He played at Purdue. I go up to him, I was like, hey, coach, like, what do I have to do for you to coach me? Because you know the ways in, the ways out. You've done it yourself. I'm like, what do I need to do for you to coach me? I want to learn from you because I want to play ball at the next level. I was like, I want to play D-line for you. What do I have to do? He's like, you got to gain weight. You got to get bigger. You got to look like a defense lineman. Of course, at the time, I was like 215 pounds. All right, bet, watch. And that summer between my sophomore and junior year, I was like 215 and got up to 275. And
smoke.
Yeah, and I came back my junior season. I'm like, all right, coach, I did what you asked me to do. I want to learn from you. Coach me. Hold up your end of the bargain. And that was my first year playing D-line, and I fell in love with it. Like, it's the gritty and the griminess of the game, just violent every single play. And it's a very unappreciated position if you're not a big fan of football or if you're not on the team. If you're just watching football, a lot of people don't really care about the D-line. They like all the flashy stuff, the receivers and the quarterbacks catching the ball. I was like, I like the gritty work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's violent. It's the trenches. So I love that part of the game, especially playing D-line, and I just fell in love with it. So
yeah, definitely, it's all about the trenches, CJ.
Yeah.
And on our show, that's one of the things that we talk about and focus on all the time. Now, as fans who watch the game and never really, I got to play center, but 7th grade, so it doesn't really count. As fans, what is our maybe biggest misconception about playing in the trenches? Maybe something that we wouldn't think of that is inherent to what you do.
A lot of time, big guys are freak athletes.
Yeah,
that's a lot of things that fans might not see. Like, we're freak athletes, even though we look heavy and we are heavy. We're still freak athletes, and people be like, "Oh, that's race." I'm like, "You're not faster than me." Like, even though I'm a big guy, I promise you're not faster.
You beat the pants off in the race, absolutely.
As a regular person, I'm smoking in the race. You know what I'm saying? But I would say like that's the biggest misconception that we're athletes as well. Like, we do freaky stuff. We can bend the edge, bend the corner. We're crazy strong. You know what I'm saying? For how big we are, we're insanely fast. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, just how athletic we are, being on the inside. Even offensive linemen, there's a lot of offensive linemen who's crazy athletic.
Heck yeah.
Like, same thing I've never, I seen one guy jumping out of a pool before.Is offensive line. I forgot what the guy's name was.
I remember that. I remember seeing that.
He might be in the league now or in college, one of those. But he was jumping out of a pool at like 315 pounds.
It's insane.
Like, that's crazy, but we're just freak athletes as well.
Yeah. And the dudes that do box jumps that are like,
exactly. So
yeah, it's crazy.
So if someone were to ask you, which CJ West game should I go and watch to really get an idea of what you're capable of?
Yeah.
Is there a particular game that you point to?
There's a couple games, but if you want to really see a showing from this past year, go watch the Michigan game. Us versus Michigan. I had an outstanding game, and I only to thank my teammates and the preparation that I had. It was a great game for me, and that was really my standout pop-out game for this. After this season, and that's where I really showed like, hey, these are my abilities. This is what I can do against the best of the best.
It's a big time competition.
Yeah, it's a big time competition, big time game for us. So if you really want to watch something, go watch the Michigan game. I had other great games. I played well against Ohio State and Notre Dame. Washington and Maryland were also really good games for me. So, but I feel like my best game of the season was Michigan, of course.
Which one shouldn't we watch?
There's no game that you shouldn't watch.
They're all awesome, Brandon.
Yeah, I play well.
How dare you?
I'm just curious. If there's like a dude that you went up against and you're like, man, this guy really like.
Yeah, well, whenever there's big competition, I'm going to step up.
Yeah,
and do what I have to do, no matter what the situation. But no, you can go watch every game. I balled.
See, that's a good interview answer.
That's fantastic. So you've been around the game obviously for a long time now, CJ. You have any football pet peeves? Is there something like just around the game, something that like other players do or opposing players do that just gets under your skin where you're just like, that's annoying. Like, I hate the way that guy chooses his mouth guard, or, it can be petty.
Honestly, it's just when the linebackers don't talk loud enough.
Oh, okay.
Or even when somebody gets a call or a check, just not talking down the line. I feel like that's a big pet peeve of mine because, if one guy's getting a call and then one guy's doing something completely different, then that's how you have big mistakes.
Yep.
So I would say communication is a big thing for me. I'm always talking. I'm always chatting on the field. I'm always telling guys, what's happening. Or if I see emotion, even though I'm in my stance, I'm like, hey, I see this. Or, hey, the guard's in a 2-point stance. Usually he's not. But, hey, it's probably pass. Tell him my tackle, tell him my end, hey, it's probably pass. So, but I would say communication. When a guy doesn't communicate, it ticks me. It ticks me off because I'm like, just simply just say one word and we all on the same page and we can get the job done. It makes life so much simpler on the field when you're just talking. So
he's CJ West. He is the interior defensive lineman from Indiana. CJ, really want to thank you for making some time for us, and thanks for coming on the show.
Of course, I appreciate it. Thank you.